What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I want to talk about Splinterlands, but before we actually get into Splinterlands, obviously, I want to talk about another game that was recently shut down. Embers Sword was now a crypto game or Web3 based game that raised over $200 million from players 2 years ago. And as of 5 hours ago, according to this article, has recently shut down. Now, I mean, I've seen a bunch of like tweets and posts about this already. I'm not sharing this with you. I'm not trying to dunk here on Embers Sword. And in fact, I want to highlight how this is coming in a long line of other games and other projects that we have seen shut down over these last couple of months. And I want to take a moment here. This is not to dunk on them. This is not to hate on them. It's more so just to reflect on the journey that Splinterlands and the Splinterlands community has been on over the past couple of years, in kind of contrast to what is going on in the rest of the Web3 space. Now, I will admit, first and foremost, that I don't know anything about Embers Sword. I don't know a lot about these other games out there. I don't know what the dynamics were like. I've been obviously in the Splinterlands world for the past couple of years. And so I'm not trying to make any assumptions here on what went right and what went wrong. But clearly, something went wrong enough that a lot of these games are no longer operating, even after raising hundreds of millions of dollars. And, you know, you look at other games like Illuvium, and they recently had to let players go, or not players, but they had to let some staff go as well, right? So it's been a tough time across crypto gaming, across Web3 gaming, whatever you want to call it. And Splinterlands is not immune. Like we've had our issues, and that's part of the thing that I want to get into. But there is a resilience here that I'm really just trying to recognize. Again, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to like pat us on the back or, you know, do anything like that. It's just, I'm just trying to figure out like, why is it that Splinterlands is still around versus some of these other projects? And, you know, my biggest speculation, which I think is going to be close to spot on, is the fact that a lot of these games popped up during 2021, during that, you know, that NFT and crypto gaming wave in the second half of 2021 that obviously Splinterlands benefited from, where tons of people, tons of money came in. And I think a lot of the sentiment, a lot of the attitude at that time was, whoa, this is cool. I can play a game and make money from it. And many people treated it like an investment, like an investment, right? And so they came in looking for ways to earn money. And as soon as the rewards dried up, as soon as the market turned, they were out. And we saw that across the board, right? There's no game that was immune to that, Splinterlands included. And it became a really difficult, grinding last couple of years. I mean, we're approaching almost 4 years since that, you know, the Axie Infinity pop-off in, I think it was like July of 2021, right? So we're only 2 months away from the 4-year mark of that. And of course, the aftermath that happened in the after years. So when thinking through, okay, there was so much of this attitude that was coming in. What is it that made Splinterlands different? Well, Splinterlands was around before that, keep in mind. And it had a lot of players and OGs who had been around before that, that saw the efforts of their labor. Not that they were even expecting things to go to the moon, but they saw the true potential of that. And so this is not necessarily like a shout out to the whales in the game, but I do want to recognize the fact that there are some really hardcore or diehard people in this community that love the game, right? That are not affiliated with the team. And they continue to spend money, release after release, promotion after promotion, card launch after card launch, or whatever, feature launch after feature launch. And so that is actually a huge element of this. Now, this is not to say that, you know, Embers Sword and other games don't have diehard players, but this is where the other side of the ball comes in. Okay, so you have diehard players, you have diehard people who are spending lots of money and capital in the game. Well, what is the team doing in order to utilize those said funds and make the game better, make the game more awesome? Well, okay, here's where we get into kind of the juicier part, because we know that Splinterlands was not immune to that. It's not like they just took all the money in 2021 and spent it in a way that I think most of the community would agree with. In fact, the board ultimately ended up not agreeing with it, and we had a change in leadership, right, from Aggie to Matt. And this is not, I'm not trying to dunk on Aggie here. I think Aggie was trying to do what he thought was best at the time, and, you know, it's just, we expanded, we got too far over our skis. And the truth is, guys, if you look it across the rest of the ecosystem, it's kind of like everybody was doing the same thing too. So in a way, maybe it's because of the fact that Splinterlands has this more bootstraps, like let's do guerrilla networking or guerrilla marketing type of, feel to it, that we never had more money than we knew what to do with. In fact, the most that we could do was get Splinterfest off, which ended up being an awesome event, right? I'm very grateful that I got to attend to be a part of it. But ultimately, like, it was never something where, you saw Matt and Aggie taking private planes and doing all kinds of crazy promotions and stuff like that. I actually have a lot of respect for both Aggie, Matt, and the leadership and the team for never like making it into something more than it needed it to be, right? Obviously, they were celebrating a lot of the wins and players becoming millionaires or splinternaires, as they called it at the time. But I never took it as like, oh, okay, like they're just getting completely, out of touch with reality here. And to a certain extent, right, you can see from the way Matt came back in. And again, I don't want to get into whatever happened behind the scenes with Matt and Aggie and the difference in opinion. Matt came in, he's obviously the much more conservative one and wanted to focus on the game itself, wanted to focus on Splinterlands rather than expanding out. And now Aggie's getting to do his thing, right? He's getting to expand out there. And I do hope that the, GLS and Moon Carts, oh gosh, what's the other one called? Arcade Colony platforms are able to, not just survive but thrive when the market returns. But we got to see Matt come in, really buckle down, and kind of return to the grassroots feel of this, and just say like, hey, we just want to make a cool game. It doesn't need to have all the bells and whistles, but it has to be something that gets the people who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with us before 2021 to stick around and get more people who came in after 2021 to spend that kind of money. And I think the proof is in the pudding here, because with this most recent presale, the team raised $2.5 million or $2.4 million. And half of that didn't even go to the team. Half of that went to the DAO, which is, which belongs to the SPS stakeholders. It belongs to the community here that has an ownership and stake in the game. And so I don't know, to me, like this just goes to show probably why I've stuck with Splinterlands so long. And yes, I have had a chance and the opportunity to peek behind the curtain and to not just connect with a lot of people on the team, but meet them at Splinterfest, get to know them on a personal level. So yes, there is this element of like, oh, okay, like I know some of these people now, and they're not here to like rug. They're trying to build the best game that they can. And if they can't, right, it's not because there was anything malicious. It's literally because of the fact that like the market just wasn't there for them, right? There's so many businesses that shut down that aren't malicious. It's just, the market turns, maybe the product market fit is not good, maybe the timing isn't right, like whatever the case is, like that's how I look at it. I have a lot of empathy and a lot of support for the team and the team members that I've gotten to know, because it's like, I know that they're there trying to do their best. They work 7 days a week, right? And so again, this is not me trying to like pat the team on the back or pat the whales on the back or pat the community on the back. I'm just kind of reflecting in why I've stayed with Splinterlands and why I do genuinely believe things are different here, for better or for worse, right? Like it's just, this is where we are at. We don't have that kind of capital coming in where you get VC money and you get, crazy marketing dollars of $200 million. But at the same time, I do think that with the money that we have, and especially now with the lessons learned, and that's an important part. And I'll close out here with the lessons learned after the last bull run. And now you got, Dave in the mix as well, coming in to manage a lot of things and allowing Matt to slip back into the role of product designer. With all of that being said, I think that, sure, we don't have all the bells and whistles. We don't have all the big money coming in, but I think we have a team that understands what they're trying to build, and they're doing their best to build it with the capital that's available. And you have a growing, and I do think it is growing, a growing player base that is much more comfortable spending money release after release. I think Rebellion show that, and now you're going to see that similarly with Conclave Arcana and any other like release or feature or card set that the team puts out in the future. People are starting to understand. And this is not to say that the team is not going to have hiccups, they're not going to make missteps, or that the DAO, right, so the community itself won't have missteps along the way. I am sure we will. But there is a sense of like true community here. And again, I'm not trying to say that wasn't the case with other games, right? Like I have no idea, but all I'm saying is from what I've experienced here, there is a sense of community. There is a sense of like, let's keep this thing going. This isn't just for the team. This isn't just for the community. There is a very collaborative and synergistic partnership here that I don't know. I mean, I'm actually really excited to be a part of, and I want to see where it goes and grows in the future. So just wanted to call this out. Again, I feel bad for any folks that were part of that $200 million that went to Embers Sword, and it's worth nothing now. And here, like I already said, I was going to close out, but like, I don't know what the future brings. Maybe Splinterlands has to shut its doors in 12 months from now, and you guys are going to come back and laugh at me at this video. Sure, that's fine, right? Like, I mean, I can't predict the future, and I'm not trying to. All I'm saying is that Splinterlands has made it thus far. 7 years, many more years than other games out there, and with a lot less money and a lot less players. So what are they doing right? If you don't like my answers, answer yourself. What is it that the team is doing right that they're still here and many other games aren't? So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.